Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by myself, Vulcan, and Attack Power.
Hey everyone, hope you're doing well.
In this video we have for you game 1 of a best of 3 between Insha and Khers in the third place final of Season 8 of the Star Division 2 League. Today they are playing on Kostritsa, and on our left in the red, playing on the allied side, we have Insha using the Moskaya Group Bakhtina and the Maverick deployment type. And on our right, in the blue team, playing on the Axis side, we have Khers using Unternehmen Rosselsprung and the Vanguard deployment type. And before we jump in today, Prodos just wanted to give you guys a heads up that there is a Matcherino link in the description, and if you guys click on it, there is 3 ways to add to the prize pool of the Steel Division League Season 8, and the finals very soon. So it'd be great if you guys could go down there, click it. You can follow links to Twitter and follow accounts and stuff, just to add 20 cents to the prize pool and stuff. So it's really cool, and it's free to do. So it basically bolsters the league tournament prize. Very cool. But yeah, let's get into the game. What do you think about these divisions, Tapa?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget also to hit that like and subscribe button and go do that. It is free and really helps these players out who do entertain us with their fantastic play. So these two divisions, definitely, they're obviously both very infantry heavy divisions, and on Kostritsa, this is a map you can definitely do that on. Now there is some open up top to play with, which can definitely bite you in the butt if you're not careful, but obviously the majority of the fighting takes place down here. Group Moskaya we've seen before. It only gets tanks and B. It definitely can have a little bit of trouble actually fighting in these tight areas if there's any sort of light armor that can really counter it well. On the other hand, Rosselsprung, this is a really odd division to pick. It's the new one from the newest DLC, and honestly, it's really not highly rated at all. It's at pretty far the bottom of the most people's tier lists in terms of 1v1. The infantry are really strong. It's got a really strong recon and infantry tab, and basically everything else is kind of missing. It's got really light tanks, and it's an odd choice, but it'll definitely be really interesting to see how Khers does this. We've seen him using this Vanguard deployment. He's the only one in Division 1 who's playing something other than Maverick, and we saw it work really well against Onord, and we can see if he can make it work again against Insha.
Yeah, the Khers on his Vanguard deployment type is just really fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do with Unternehmen and Rosselsprung, especially with all of these 20mm vehicles that they do get. They can be super aggressive. The other thing with Unternehmen and Rosselsprung is at least it has an air force it can kind of crutch on a little bit, whereas Nov, its counterpart, which came in the DLC, is just absolutely trash.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, the thing is, I have a feeling he might even counterpicked Insha because, again, Bakhtina has a little bit of trouble with light vehicles because they just have ZIS-2s and stuff, so they have a really hard time actually killing a lot of these heavier, not heavier, excuse me, light, fast recon cars and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's have a quick look at these units. So on the side of Insha, we have the PTRS and the double Osnaz on the top side there. He's got the mix of Osnaz further down, the Osnaz Sapri and the Sniper, and the standard Osnaz squad with the Osnaz Komlotti, a machine gun, and a ZIS-2. Heading into the town, he has a Sniper, the Osnaz VMF, the Moskaya Sturm, and the Moskaya Combat at the start, so commander from the start there, with the 25mm AA. And on the bottom side, we have 3 PTRS with the Osnaz Komlottis. There's normal Osnaz with the Osnaz Snipers and Osnaz VMF. Osnaz VMF being the ones with the Sniper and Machine Gun. Really nice squads. Over on the side of Khers, at the top, we have the Aufklärer Panzer II with the MG34. Further down, we have the Gebirgs Pioneers with the Domobrani and Gebirgs Fusilier. Then we have 2 of the AB41s with the MG34, 2 Gebirgs Fusilier, Brandenburger and Gebirg Streif. And then on the bottom side, we have the AB41s, Barryführer, Brandenburg Pioneers with the Stossjäger, Brandenburger, Domobrani, and we've also got a 20mm back there with another Aufklärer Panzer II and a further Fusilier. So, yeah, nice setup for both players. A lot of Osnaz on the side of Insha for sure.
Yeah, I think that's his attempt to counter what he expects to be a serious light armor push you know, those Osnas with their bazookas can definitely kind of cut down on how aggressive Khers can be with his AB-41s and all the other variety of things. You know, I think the big thing Insha needs to do is take advantage of his speed, because remember the Rosselsprung troops come in those horrible Davunkuks, or how do you say it? However you say that stupid transport.
I don't know.
It's literally like the worst transport in the game. It's 60 kilometers an hour. It's really bad. They're super duper slow. So it really is going to lean on Insha here to use his speed advantage here at the beginning and take early flags.
Yeah, the 20 mil vehicles, like the AB-41s, are still relatively fast.
Yeah, they're not.
So they will be able to get there as well.
They're not dirt slow, but they're still 20 kilometers slower than like the PTRS is coming in their motorcycles, and also Moskaya.
And the 4 GPAs.
Yeah, they have the 4 GPAs as well. So like he's got a lot of 100-kilometer-an-hour units that should be able to really grab some early stuff.
Yeah, so we can see his Osnas Sapri here going to be making a lunge for the center flag, and on the bottom side things are going to be heating up pretty quickly when we see these infantry squads come against each other. But yeah, the initial engagement here will definitely be like dependent very much on these 20 mils. If they can get into a good position and spot the enemy infantry in time before like the bazookas get close enough to pick them off. There's also of course the PTRSs that can actually penetrate these light armored vehicles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's actually like kind of key that he uses these PTRS as well. If he doesn't, he might actually have a little bit of trouble. We also see he's brought in a commander. Insha's brought in a commander here right at the beginning, something we don't see very often these days out of most players.
He's using it to buff and the Osnas VMF and the snipers there. Those can do a lot of damage, but he has managed to get his Sapri into the far flag in the center. But we already have Khers replying with the DO-17, very resilient bomber with the two 250-kilogram bombs. Kabig's Pioneer not moving in there, staying at a range is the perfect play. The bomb's now going to be coming down. Will they land in the right place? Takes out one of the squads.
Very nice bomb.
Down. Yep. Very nice.
Yeah, and that's that early investment's going to be huge, because that DO-17 is going to keep coming in for the rest of the game. So every time he gets that, he just gets that much more value out of that bomber. So the earlier you can call in something like that and effectively use it and not get it shot down, it can be a huge investment for the long game.
So now we got these large units of infantry coming through on the bottom side. Insha a little bit light with the 2 Moskaya Sturm and the Osnas versus what is like 6 infantry squads from Khers. That's a lot of stuff, and the Panzer II on the bottom side has got orders to try and sneak around there to see if it makes it.
Yeah, that is a very common thing to see is recon units flanking around through these open light forests here. We can see snipers trading off. These Osnas VMF and the Brandenburg Aufklärer are 2 fantastic sniper squads, so they should be able to trade pretty well. Here we go. We're about to see this engagement unfold here in this forest. Solst Jaegers, the first ones to engage, and the Moskaya Sturms are taking... Oh my goodness, they're melting. They're melting away.
Yeah, they are gone very, very quickly indeed. They did not last. Osnas managed to take out one of the AB-41s further up. But the PTRS takes out one of those, another one of the AB-41s. So Insha's doing a nice job of cutting down some of that light armor that could be seriously problematic for him. But he hasn't really made any ground. He's even lost that kind of easier flag to capture here down in the south. Yeah, and also this position in the forest on the bottom side is going to be very hard for him to take back. One thing that's great about Unternehmer Rosselsprung is it gets these Brandenburger squads, and they are very good at close range with the HE bundle grenade, and then they can also project damage at long range because they have 2 MG42s. So super strong squad, and in this sort of position can hold on the edge of tree lines. So Insha's going to have to be extra careful pushing back in here, but a nice IL-2 strike is going to pick off that Brandenburger Pioneer.
Absolutely, and those Brandenburger Pioneers are actually really important because these are some of his only like dedicated good flame troops. These are very good flame troops, but he only gets 1 card of them, and he's bringing him in A. He's only getting 4, I think. I want to say 4. We see these tons of these Osnas snipers just pinning down this Brandenburg Aufklärer. He's kind of have this Brandenburg kind of standing out in the middle of nowhere here, getting sniped over and over again. Kind of sad to see that, because those, again, you don't get a lot of those. You get 4 on a card in A, of those Brandenburgers.
Yeah, Falsham Stoshi trading with the Muskaya Serpentine there. Muskaya Serpentine getting away with one man, but yeah, the Brandenburg are finally falling back on the top side. These Osnas VMF, the MG sniper combo, just so potent at just wiping out these squads at a distance. Or Brandenburger Pioneer picking off the Muskaya Sturm on the edge there. However, they don't trade very well, even though the Brandenburger Pioneers were in heavy cover and the Muskaya Sturm was in no cover. That's mainly because of the way that the flame is set up. So the Brandenburgers can't split their flames whilst the normal Muskaya Sturm can, which means they end up getting more damage with each volley.
Yeah, that's so weird. If you look, you can see the difference. Muskaya Sturm, it shows 2 different flamethrowers, and the Brandenburg show 2 one picture of the flamethrower. That's such like a weird thing I never noticed. I didn't realize it made a difference. It's kind of stupid.
Nice kill by the Brandenburger in the middle. Found a line of sight onto the ZIS-2 there that was set up to get off the AB-41s, and in the bottom side, IL-2 committed to take out the Panzer II because that was preventing some of Inch's infantry moving from the spawn. So a large amount of points invested in the IL-2 just to kill what was quite a cheap Panzer II vehicle.
He's going to have to kill like 6 or 7 recon vehicles to pay off that cluster bomber. Up north, we do see the not all the way up north, but in the middle here, we saw an Osnas take out another one of the AB-41s. Like I said, it is very important that he takes these out because they really can dominate him if he's not careful.
Yeah, it's one thing that the Rosselsprung can actually do well is pull out loads of these 20mm vehicles. Although, saying that, Khers doesn't have too many left on the map now. There is only the Panzer II and the one AB-41 in the center of the map. DO-17 coming in again for another bombing strike. I have to see if that can get some value, but the SS Gebirgsfusilier Fusilier here, following up its Panzer II, its late Panzer II, in order to disrupt this reinforcing road. Looks like the DO did get forced back by the 25mm AA. And one thing that's kind of nice that from Khers here is he's bringing up some of these MG42s, the MG42 squads. They're going to be 3 vet with Battlefield nearby. But if he can get those into the edge of the tree line, he's really going to just be able to put so much pressure on these bottom side flags.
Oh, up north, the Flakverling almost going down here to the sniper. Is he going to... Oh, the sniper just falls back. He almost lost that Flakverling. That would have been really devastating because Rosselsprung does not have a lot of AA, and this Flakverling is the only good AA that has. So if he had lost it, that actually would have been a massive loss.
Yeah, would have definitely allowed Insha to make better use of his IL-2s.
And we see some 105s out of Khers already using that Vanguard deployment to kind of set up that support system, set up those backline units. We see an LG-42 here. Now, these are also really important because Bakhtina really does not have a lot of 2000, I don't think it has any 2K HE. So this LG-42 can really dominate this open field here.
Yeah, they're fantastic for dealing with snipers that would otherwise get the better of your troops. Particularly if you like run forwards a unit, you get it shot at, and then like the LG just pops it nice and quickly for you.
Yep.
Very nice. But the SS Gebirgsfusilier still causing issues on this bottom side. Forced 2 of these Genya Bushlarti to unload early. The Muskaya Sturm trying to come in from the backside. Will they get the flamer off and get the surrender? Yes, they will.
That's still like, so now all those infantry have to march themselves up. That's going to take a solid 3 to 4 minutes, and Insha really doesn't have time for his troops to be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Vanguard deployment type, he's going to be looking to win within like the 10-15 minute mark. Inch is looking to basically go anywhere past that.
Yeah.
In order to take the victory.
I mean, basically, as long as Insha doesn't lose, he should win. You know, I like to say, as I like to say.
The LG-42 almost killed the Osnas sniper across the open there. 2 AB-41s looking for a sneaky move on the bottom side again.
You know I need to drop that every game now.
Yeah.
Just set me up every game, Vulcan, alright?
Alright, I will do. Look at these 20mm coming in. Oh, all the L6s. Here we go.
Okay.
This is what Rosselsprung's all about.
This is what Khers is all about. Let's make sure we get this right. This is what Khers is all about. We saw this in his other game too. Just a line. I'm trying to get a good view here of little light vehicles. That's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, the L640s with their 20mm. You got the AB-41s with the 20mm. He's got a couple of Brandenburger also following that up, and he's already making decent ground into the center. IL-2 is going to be coming in with a cheeky bombing strike to try and stop some of these infantry moving forwards, but the flak-filling is going to prevent that from dropping. Flak-filling still very strong, even after the nerf.
That suppressed that so fast. I feel like IL-2s are usually a little bit more resilient, and it's smoking already. Is it going to go down to this? No way. Wow. What a kill.
That's a nice kill. Yeah, I think in the front armor, obviously, planes have less armor, and they do take more damage. So if you're flying directly towards AA, and that will cause you issues. But nice artillery coming in here onto the Moskaya Pehota. Has managed to pin down both the squads, allows the Domobrani disheartened units to force back these 3 Vet Moskaya. That is not something you see too often.
Well, and if he catches this combat out, I mean, losing that veterancy is actually going to be very, very painful. He's really leaning on that to overwhelm Khers' technically better infantry. We see this light armor mob reaching the town here, and this is going to be a very big issue because all their AT is DPs and not DPs, excuse me, PTRSs and PTRDs, and those are not super efficient at killing L640s.
Yeah, and also the Zis too gets killed there on the top side of the town. AB41 and the Gebirgsfusilier double team that. We had the IL-2 coming on the bottom side in the meantime with a cluster strike. It does take out one of the AB41s.
Whoa.
Doesn't look like it was targeted to kill both.
The 25 mil just killed one of the L640s. That's an overachiever right there.
It does go down swiftly after though, and that's just going to open up bombing strikes for Khers, because he probably still has that DO-17 hanging about. Brandenburger looking really scary right now as they push onto these Moskaya.
It is really impressive how Khers is basically like walking this artillery back. Like, he must be pre-aiming these spots and predicting where Insha's troops are going to fall back to, because the artillery was falling on his troops like immediately when they stopped. It was really fast.
Yeah, he's just like preemptively making sure that they continue to fall back so he can just push him completely out of the town. But we have now moved into phase B, so Insha will be starting to get his 170 points per minute. And he has brought in a couple of T-34-76s to really stop the bleeding against all of these light vehicles.
Yeah, these are key. He only gets one card of these in B phase. Like, this is what he got, but it's already 15-9 for Khers. Insha really needs to stem this immediately and start pushing back. But getting back into this town is going to be brutal, because once you're out in these open areas, getting back through the open areas, even against a division like Rosselsprung, is really challenging.
Fortunately, a lot of the Rosselsprung infantry doesn't have its own AT, so if he were to just charge the T-34s through the town, it probably wouldn't matter too much unless he takes too many HE grenades from the Brandenburger. But either way, it's still not a nice prospect, and it's not something that Insha's probably even thinking about right now. And not many players are probably familiar with Rosselsprung, especially in a 1v1 scenario. So that's something that would be very off-putting for Insha right now, under pressure from what is perceived to be one of the weaker divisions.
Yeah, we also see here this AB41 still alive down here. It took out at least one infantry squad I saw just now, so this is harassing. He just lost an Osnaz Komroti as well. And up north, we see a big push develop. We kind of missed this up here from Khers. He grabbed this flag as well, and there's really nothing there. Like, these Osnaz don't really fight infantry very well. So this SS Gebirgspioneer and Brandenburger should be able to carve through these two units and capture even more flags.
Yeah, we're now at 18-6.
Oh my.
The AB41 still causing issues on the bottom side. So triple tick for Khers. AB41 still holding back the reinforcements, and Inch is going to throw in the towel. 13 minutes and 24 seconds. Honestly, Khers on this Vanguard deployment type is just fantastic to watch, and completely throwing a spanner in the work there with the Rosselsprung pick.
Yeah, that was very, very impressive. I can tell you, I will not be doing anything that impressive anytime soon. Excellent game to him. I mean, Insha, I don't think Insha played poorly. You know, I didn't see anything that was like, oh, this was a bad micro mistake, or, you know, you really screwed this up. It just Khers was all over him. He just was maximizing the strengths of Rosselsprung, which are few and far between, but with maximizing them, no doubt, and just ran him down.
Yeah, really making use of those 20 mils to take advantage of Insha's lack of armor in phase A. Vanguard deployment type, 20 mils, just beautiful. 1,150 kills to 800 losses. in favor of Khers. It's not as one-sided in the kills and losses as you'd expect.
Yeah, I just think it was a matter of positioning, really. He just pushed him out of defensible positions really early, and then once you're out of some of those like more defensible positions, you just have to spend so many more troops and resources getting back into those. And I also think Khers did a really good job of disrupting his back lines. Like that bottom reinforcement road is so necessary for that side. When you disrupt that, you can waste so much time from your opponent that they have to now march their troops up that road.
Yeah, you have to start bringing them in towards the center town and then walking them down from there instead, and that just becomes a nightmare, especially when your center town's already taken over by 120 mil vehicles.
Yep.
So it wasn't great stuff. Anyway, moving over to the kills, Osnas VMF of showing what they're made of. That's a nice double MG42 kill right there.
Yeah, I mean
further down.
That's about it though.
Yeah, we got some Junior Bishlati in the IL2 getting a couple kills, but they just didn't have enough time to really pay off the IL2.
No.
For sure. And also these T-34s started to pick off the light armor, but again, not really giving himself the time to get back into this one.
Yeah, and if we hop over to Khers here, we don't see any like serious standout units. Again, a couple SPWs, as we assumed, you know, AB41's doing some work, but other than that, like no unit really like did much. Like it's not like any unit overperformed, but like, you know, you don't see stats like the 105 howitzers constantly pinning units, you know, things like that kind of get lost in the stats for sure. But yeah, I mean, just a really well played game by Khers. He had a plan and he executed it really well.
Yeah, so game one going to be going over to Khers in this third place final. We'll have to see, moving on to the next one, if Insha can take one back, because that was a hell of a dominant showing from Khers. I'm looking forward to what the next division that he's going to bring out.
Yeah, he definitely picked some oddballs, but it's exciting to watch. Don't forget, guys, to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and check out Matcherino for these players. It's totally free to all of us, so go just hit that little donate button, and then any other things you want to do is even more helpful.
Yep, that's about it. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Have a good one.